One of my favorite genres of board games is the cooperative games, where players work together as a team to achieve a common goal, the result being to win or lose as a group. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the cooperative games in my collection. What's up? John McCann here with the Tabletop Tutor. The board gaming hobby today has really developed in recent years into all sorts of new genres. I was surprised when I first learned about cooperative games because for the first time I could share my love of figuring out the strategy of a game as we all work together to take on the challenge of that game. For newer players, this opens the opportunity to share knowledge and strategically discuss the pros and cons of different actions. The biggest barrier that some people have to enjoying this type of gameplay, however, is what is often referred to as the alpha gamer. The scenario where one player dominates the conversation for play and strategy, making other players feel like they're just simply an extension of the alpha gamer. So, and I can't stress this enough, to truly enjoy a cooperative game, you have to find that balance of working together to defeat the game, while at the same time letting each player on the team learn through that experience. Because to truly teach a game, you have to be able to win some and lose some. It's through those losses that players truly learn why certain strategies are better than others. Plus, you never know. Sometimes what seems like the wrong choice, in the end, works out better than you would have imagined it. Hey, if you think you're going to get value out of this video, click that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more videos like this. And tell me in the comments below what cooperative games are in your collection. With that introduction out of the way, here are the cooperative games that are currently in my collection. I decided to list these by release year, starting with the oldest and moving forward in time to the most current game. Go Away Monster, released in 1997 by Gamewright. I've already released a video for Go Away Monster, which you can get to by clicking this card, and I will also include a link in the description below this video. Go Away Monster is an opportunity to get your preschoolers into the act, as this game is playable for kids 3 and up. Betrayal at the House on the Hill, released in 2004 by Avalon Hill Games. Betrayal is a cooperative game with a twist. 3 to 6 players enter a haunted mansion together to explore the mansion and encounter spirits and frightening omens that foretell their fate. At some point, the omen occurs and one of the players betrays the others, and the game shifts from being purely cooperative to being one against the rest. Shadows over Camelot, released in 2005 by Days of Wonder. Shadows over Camelot is a semi-cooperative hand management and social deduction game for 3 to 7 players who take on the guise of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table to search for the Holy Grail, find Excalibur, while keeping evil at bay. But beware, for it may be possible that one of your fellow knights is actually a traitor, pretending to be loyal but secretly hindering his fellow knights in subtle ways. Will you build a majority of white swords on the table before Camelot falls? Pandemic, released in 2008 by Z-Man Games. In Pandemic, 1 to 4 players take on the role of disease-fighting specialists who are trying to find the cure for 4 diseases before they get out of hand around the globe. I have already produced a video for how to play Pandemic, which you can get to by clicking the card. And I will also include a link to the description below this video. Defenders of the Realm, released in 2010 by Eagle Gryphon Games. This is one of the first cooperative games that I ever purchased. 1 to 4 players take on the roles of the King's heroes in this fantasy board game where 4 different armies are advancing on Monarch City. There are several ways to lose and only one path to victory, and only the most valiant among you will be named the King's Champion. Hanabi, released in 2010 by R&R Games. Hanabi, the Japanese word for fireworks, is a cooperative game where 2 to 5 players are trying to create the perfect fireworks display by stacking up 5 different colors of cards in order from 1 to 5. Sound easy? Well, not quite, as in this game, you hold your cards so that they are visible only to the other players. Players must act as a team and provide each other hints to play the cards correctly and at just the right time. Escape, the Curse of the Temple, released in 2012 by Queen Games. Escape is a real-time, simultaneous, cooperative game in which up to 5 players are working to explore, find the treasures, and escape from the temple. within 10 minutes. This is a frantic, wild time where you are all simultaneously rolling dice and running around the board. You have to pay attention to where you are relative to your fellow adventurers and listen for clues in the accompanying soundtrack to ensure that you are not left behind at critical moments in the game. Thunderstone Advance, released in 2012 by Alderac Entertainment Group, otherwise known as AEG. This is the second in a series of 3 implementations of the Thunderstone lineup: Thunderstone 2009, Thunderstone Advance in 2012, and Thunderstone Quest in 2018. Thunderstone Advance is a deck builder dungeon crawl where players build a party of heroes to defeat the monsters in the dungeon or in the wilderness. Depending on your hand, each round you make a decision as to whether you are going to wade in to attack the advancing line of monstrous creatures, or if you're going to visit the village to strengthen your hand. Mice and Mystics, released in 2012 by Plaid Hat Games. In Mice and Mystics, the king has been supplanted by the evil sorceress Venestra. Players take on the roles of those still loyal to the king and turn themselves into mice to thwart her evil plans. Playing as cunning field mice, players race through the castle to fend off Venestra's minions who have been turned themselves into rats to hunt you down. Players also fight spiders, roaches, centipedes, and cats in this rich storyline adventure. Robinson Crusoe: Adventures on the Cursed Island, released in 2012 by Portal Games. In Robinson Crusoe, 1 to 4 players find themselves shipwrecked on a deserted island. Players must make decisions on whether to search for food, build shelter, fight wild beasts, or explore the island. Along the way, injuries and discoveries will ensure that every adventure is unique as adventurers try to accomplish one of 6 different scenarios. Burgle Bros, released in 2015 by Fowler Games. In Burgle Bros, players are a unique crew of villains trying to pull off a robbery in a highly secure building without getting caught. The building has 3 floors, each with its own safe to crack and a security guard prowling the floor. Players each have 3 stealth tokens, and if they run out and are caught by a guard, they give up their friends. Can you break the safe on all 3 levels and escape to your helicopter waiting on the roof before the wary security guards capture you? Escape the Room: Mystery at Stargazer's Manor, released in 2016 by Think Fun. Have you ever participated in an escape room where you go with a group of friends to a room and then you have to search around, find clues, and solve a series of riddles to escape? Well, this game is a part of a new genre of games that brings that experience to your living room. I have not yet played this particular one that is on my shelf, but these games are generally a once-and-done experience. This one is designed for 3 to 8 players to work through in about 90 minutes. Harry Potter: Hogwarts Battle, released in 2016 by USAopoly. In Hogwarts Battle, 1 to 4 players take on the roles of Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Neville to combat Lord Voldemort and the Death Eaters. This is a cooperative deck builder which is packaged to align and grow with the 7-book series. I played this game with my daughter as we were reading the series. Each time we finished a book, we would open another box and enjoyed adding characters, items, and settings that were introduced in each book to the game. Mech vs. Minions, released in 2016 by Riot Games. Mech vs. Minions is a gorgeous game that has production value through the roof. Set in the world of Runeterra, players take on the roles of 4 intrepid Yordles who must work together to pilot mechs against an army of marauding minions. The packaging and details of this game are beautiful to look at. If you enjoy wading into the thick of the battle and defeating wave after unrelenting wave of minions, then this is one to take a serious look at. Magic Maze, released in 2017 by Sit Down. A mage, a warrior, an elf, and a dwarf have been stripped of all their possessions and are going to go rob the local shopping mall to resupply their equipment before their next adventure. In Magic Maze, 1 to 8 players work together in silence to guide these 4 characters around the board to pull off their heist before the shopping mall security guards get suspicious of their loitering and arrest them. Gloomhaven, released in 2017 by Cephalofair Games. Gloomhaven is a legacy-style epic adventure where players take on the role of wandering adventurers, each with their own unique skills and reasons for adventuring into the dark corners of the world. You are exploring a world that is leveling up as you play it. When I acquired my copy of Gloomhaven, I figured this was a game that I would be exploring off and on for the next 20 to 30 years. There is so much content locked away in this game, it is the heaviest game in my collection. Legacy of Dragonholt, released in 2017 by Fantasy Flight Games. Legacy of Dragonholt captures the spirit of a role-playing game without needing a game master. This narrative game for 1 to 6 players allows you to build the narrative for your character along with your characteristics and abilities. When you go out and explore the realm by reading the story text and making choices based on abilities that you have assigned to your character. In this way, every adventure into the Legacy of Dragonholt will be a unique experience. 60 Seconds to Save the World, released in 2017 by Alderac Entertainment Group, AEG. In 60 Seconds to Save the World, 2 to 6 players take on the roles of world leaders who have to work together from their command bunkers, where their only form of communication is a terminal where they execute orders and fax details back and forth to each other. Zombicide Green Horde, released in 2018 by CMON. This is a players versus zombies game set in a medieval fantasy, where up to 6 players take up arms as townsfolk who survive the initial plague of infected orcs and goblins raiding the countryside. Did I mention that there is this awesome catapult which players can also employ to target the horde on and off the board? Players will select a scenario from the rulebook which will outline their specific win-lose conditions for each game. Zombicide Invader, released in 2019 by CMON. This is another game set in the Zombicide family, except this time up to 6 players are the scientist and soldier survivors of a human settlement on an alien world, where weapon choice is dependent on whether you are inside the station or outside in the oxygen-starved planet's surface, and you're battling a relentless invasion of Xenos. Horrified, released in 2019 by Ravensburger. In Horrified, 1 to 5 players take on the role of citizens within a town which is being attacked by 2 to 3 classic monsters, such as the creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, or the Invisible Man. Can you save the innocent townsfolk and defeat the monsters before all hope is lost? I've already produced a video for how to play Horrified, which you can get to by clicking the card, and I will also include a link in the description below for this video. Whew! I guess I like cooperative games. As you can see, they come in all shapes and sizes. If you found value in this video, please click the like button. If you'd like to find out more about board game genres, then put your questions in the comments below and subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming episodes. My name's John McCann and I am the Tabletop Tutor. That's all for now, and I look forward to seeing you at the gaming table.